Hi, teacher. Good morning.
Good morning, Lluvia. How are you?
I'm okay, teacher. Just it's very cold.
Okay. Yeah, right. Early in the morning, it's super cold. Okay. Let's please begin with our class. So remember that on a previous class we were reviewing about the difference between the figurative language and the literal language.
Yes.
All right. And well, we began working on this exercise. And we were checking, no, your answers. And I think we were here. We said still a look is the literal language, is a figurative language, and still a car is the figurative. Thin excuse was with thin curtain, right? Did we finish checking this exercise?
Yes, teacher. We finish. Oh, I think that
Mhm.
we. Um, no, we finish.
Yes, okay, very good. Now we have to do these practices. All right, please, if you could work on this practice first, and when you finish, let me know.
I finished, teacher.
All right, and how did you do on this practice?
I get confused. For example, I thought that all ears was non-literal, but it was literal. Also, in a piece of cake, I thought it was not literal because it sounds like figurative, but it says that it's literal.
Really? A piece of cake?
Yes, I put non-literal, and
Hmm.
this it's at the end it's wrong because I don't know. I also all was all ears, and also under the water I put non-literal, and it says that it's wrong.
All right, let's check on this practice, please. Let's see. Hmm. All right, literal, non-literal. She gave her cold shoulder. Okay. Non-literal is correct. Oh, here the system is with not capital letter. That's why. But this is
Oh,
correct.
okay,
Non-literal. This is figurative. Dog tired. Yes. Break a leg. It's literal. All right. Megan told Beth to break a leg. Break a leg is non-literal. It's figurative. This is correct also. Okay. So two
okay.
correct. Under the weather. Non-literal. It's because of the capital letter. Don't worry. This is okay. Piece of cake. Non-literal also is correct. All ears. This is non-literal as well. It was just
Okay.
because of the spaces in between the two words. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
one, two, three, four, and five. So you have nine.
Okay.
That's your
Thank you,
real
teacher.
score. All right. And well, one last practice is the one that I send you in Kahoot, okay?
Okay.
About figurative and literal language. Please
Okay.
work on the practice.
I finished, teacher.
Great. And how did you do on this practice?
I did good, teacher. I think that I understood very well.
Perfect. That's great. All right. Let's please continue. So now we have to review on grammar. And on grammar, you are going to be reviewing the future continuous tense. Well, let's please review the grammar structure. How do I form the future continuous? Well, as you know, you need to have the subject, will, and because it's the continuous form, you have to have be followed by the verb in the ing form. So, affirmative example, I will be singing in the concert tomorrow. Negative, just adding not. You can also write down the contraction won't. I will not be singing in the concert tomorrow, or I won't be singing in the concert tomorrow. It's the same. And for questions, well, you have to put the auxiliary before the subject and then be singing in the concert tomorrow. Will you be singing in the concert tomorrow? Yes, I will. No, I won't. Something very important here is whenever we are talking the future continuous tense, always you have to write down the verb be. Always. And always followed by the verb in the ing form. Always. This is what makes continuous, future continuous. Okay, basically this is it. Let's move on to the usage. When do we use the future continuous tense? Well, we use the future continuous tense to describe interrupted actions in the future, like when you come tomorrow, they will be playing tennis, interrupted action. To express actions in progress at a specific time in the future. At 12 o'clock tomorrow, we will be having lunch at school, continuous action. To refer the actions that are happening now and expected to continue in the future. Unfortunately, sea levels will still be rising in 20 more years. No? To ask questions politely about the future, like, will you be bringing your friend to the party tonight? To emphasis of future plans and intentions. He'll be coming to visit us next week in future plans. To describe atmosphere in the future. When I arrive at the party, everyone will be celebrating. Some will be dancing. Atmosphere in the future. To express parallel actions or series of parallel actions in the future, like she will be watching TV and he will be cooking dinner. And well, these are the usage and this is the grammar tense. Is there a doubt or a question that you may have about the future continuous tense?
The principal usage is when we are doing something now in the present and we will continue doing this in the future, right?
Well, it can extend, but because you are using will, it's basically talking about the future in a
Mhm.
continuous action, not now, because only the present continuous is the one action that starts now and projects a little bit into the future. But this one, no, this one is starting in the future.
Okay, it's like I will be taking the TOEFL test, but no, I'm not taking it now, right?
Exactly.
Okay, thank.
Yes. All right. Any doubts or questions about this?
Um, if this is the structure of talking about the future,
Hmm.
the present continuously, can you make an example, please, teacher?
With the present continuous,
Yes.
she is dancing.
That means that she is dancing now and she maybe will be
No,
dancing in the future.
exactly. And maybe it will project a little bit into the future, no?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I understand. Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome. All right, let's move on, please, with the example here. We have a conversation practice. Let's answer, please,
Mhm.
these questions. Will you be eating breakfast at 6 tomorrow morning?
I will be eating breakfast at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Okay, will you be driving a car after class today?
I won't be driving a car after class today because I don't know how to drive.
All right, will you be taking a nap tomorrow afternoon?
I won't be taking a nap tomorrow afternoon because I have to do other stuff.
All right, and will you be texting a friend soon?
I will be texting a friend soon by WhatsApp because I need to talk with one of them.
All right. Will you be doing homework tonight?
Mm, I will be doing homework tonight because I need to advance.
All right. Will you be doing will you be going home in an hour?
I won't be going home in an hour because I'm here.
All right. Will you be going to bed after midnight tonight?
I won't be going to bed after midnight. I think I will be going to bed before midnight.
Very good. All right. Let's please go on to this game. Well, this game is going to be also about the future continuous tense, okay? Please choose two numbers.
4 and 6.
Okay, this one. Let's see. What will you be doing in 10 hours?
Um, what time is now? Is in 10 hours. I will be reading a book.
All right. And here, let's see, 4 and 6 here. What will you be doing at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon?
Mm, I will be doing a. I will be doing volunteer. I will be volunteering.
All right. Choose please two other numbers.
5 and 3.
All right. Here. What will you be doing at 10:30 tomorrow morning?
I will be. I will be. I will be checking a web page.
All right. And what will you be doing in 5 minutes?
I will be having class, English class.
Great. All right. Choose please two other numbers.
1 and 2.
All right. What will you be doing in half an hour?
I will be finishing my English class.
Mhm. In here, what will you be doing in a few minutes?
I will be learning English.
All right, wonderful. So you understand, right? The grammar structure of the future continuous.
Yes, teacher. I do.
Very good. Let's please move on. Well, the next thing you're going to review it's about the adjective clauses. What are the adjective clauses? Well, adjective clauses It's a multi-word that contains subject and a verb and that tells more information about the noun in the sentence. It's basically extra information about the noun in the sentence. And adjective clauses depend on other clauses in a sentence to express a complete thought. And that's why they are referred to as depend clauses. Well, whenever we are going to make the structure or whenever we are going to make a sentence about an adjective clause, we are going to use relative pronouns. And the relative pronouns can be the following: who, whose, which, whoever, whomever, that, and where. These are the relative pronouns that we are going to use to make adjective clauses. All right. What are the relative pronouns? Well, relative pronouns are going to be marking the beginning in an adjective clause in a sentence. And the most important thing is to spot a relative pronoun because adjective clauses follow them. So we can know where the adjective clause is going to begin because we are going to identify these relative pronouns. And the function is they function as subjects and sometimes also as objects in the adjective clauses. And here we have some examples to make this easier to understand. People who are true patriots love their country unconditionally. I could also say people love their country unconditionally. No, and I could understand that as a sentence, no problem. But this is the adjective clause. Extra information about the subject here, who are true patriots. No, this is the adjective clause, and here we have the relative pronoun that we are using. In the next sentence, I can recall the time when there were no mobile phones. I can just say, I can recall the time where no, well, let me see, I can recall the time when there were no mobile phones. In this case, the adjective clause is needed. I cannot omit it because I couldn't understand the sentence if it weren't for the adjective clause when there were no. So this is the extra information. I can recall the time when there were no mobile phones. No? Here, the next one. Jason has a relative whose daughter pursues a career in nursing. Here, John has a relative, and that's it. I can just say John has a relative, but this is the extra information about this relative whose daughter pursues a career in nursing. This is the extra information, no, about this relative that John has. Dancing, which many people love, is tiresome. That means that for some people it's boring. Dancing is boring. I could just say that, no? And whenever I'm going to use which, okay, this relative pronoun, which, I am always going to put a comma in the adjective clause at the beginning and at the end of the adjective clause, only with which. So I can just say dancing is tiresome, it's boring. But this is the extra information, the one that you see in between the commas, which many people love. This is the extra information about dancing. The reason why David skips mathematics lesson is that he doesn't love the subject. Okay, the reason is that he doesn't love the subject. I could just say that. But the extra information here in the adjective clauses It says what subject he skips, no? Mathematics. So why David skips mathematics lessons is the adjective clause, the extra information about the object, no, in this case, because doesn't love the subject is the object in the sentence. The reason why Nicolas prefers to watch football matches is that he doesn't like to watch basketball. Why Nicolas prefers, explaining his preference, is the extra information, right? Prefers to watch football matches is the adjective clause. I could just say simply the reason is that he doesn't like to watch basketball. But here we have, sorry, the adjective clause. Why Nicolas prefers to watch football matches. It's basically the extra information, all right? The adjective clause. Here, the last one, weddings, which are hosted in secluded areas, that means far away places, are very jovial. Well, here, this is the adjective clause, and it's easily to identify an adjective clause with with the subject pronoun or the relative pronoun which. Why? Because this one is going to use commas, and it tells you the beginning and the end of the adjective clause, so it's much more easy to identify here with which. I can just say weddings are jovial, but because this is the extra information, right? I know that this is the adjective clause because it's with commas in between. So yeah, basically this is the use of adjective clauses, giving extra information about the subject in a sentence, the noun, or even the object, using the relative pronouns, of course. Let's please move on. Relative pronouns. Now we are going to review when do we use specifically each and one of the relative pronouns, which also are used as WH questions, as we know, and they have similar use to the meaning of the WH question. For example, who in WH question we used to ask about people, right? And it's the same. Look, the usage used for people. Who used for people. The woman who called yesterday wants to buy the house. Which? Which is used to talk about things and animals. All right? And remember, right? Commas. Did you see the letter? I can just add a comma here, comma, which came today? Question mark. I love the puppy which is jumping at the kitchen. And here, something very interesting with which is that you can use commas or no commas. But whenever we are talking grammatically, most of the times it includes commas. But also there are some cases in which you don't add commas, okay? But this is the only adjective clause that uses commas or has these two options of using commas or not. So which for things and animals. Whose. Well, we're going to use whose to express possessions of people and animals. For example, he's a man whose opinion I respect. She's the student whose handwriting is the best in my class. Whom. It is used for people when the person is the object of the verb. Only when the person, okay, when the person is the object of the verb. For example, the author whom you criticize. Who did you criticize? The author, no? We are following this. The person is the object of the verb. The person is the object of the verb. Criticize who? Author. The author whom you criticize in your review has written a letter in reply. And well, that we can use for people, things, and animals. Here, which only for things and animals, right? But that is also used for people. That's the difference. The girl that we went that we met in France has sent us a card. We live in a ground floor flat that backs onto a busy street. Do you like the cat that is sleeping underneath the table? All right. And also, whenever we are talking, uh, whenever we are using which as a relative pronoun, is also to express decision. Which one? This one or this one? Okay. But only for things and animals. That can include people, things, and animals. In this case, for example, if you will have a sentence talking about things and animals only, you could either decide between that or which, it will be the same. But if you have animals or even people in your sentence, then you definitely have to go with that, no which. All right? And well, this is the use of relative pronouns and adjective clauses specifically. Any doubts or questions, maybe?
Not can I think that some of the relative pronouns are can be used. For example, animals. We can use many relative pronouns, not just one.
Yes. All right. Well, please work on the practice, and when you finish, let me know.
Okay. I finished.
Good. And how did you do on this practice about the adjective clauses?
I get 7/10, and I have some doubts. I cannot choose very well which relative pronoun is correct when for example, we have to describe, if it's correct to say it, a place. I don't know which
Mm-hmm.
relative pronoun to use. For example, number two, it says this is a place.
Which? Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, where?
Also,
Sorry. This is the place which I lost my purse. You can say also where I lost my purse.
um, I did, since where was not in the
Yeah.
list, I didn't use where, but it was in my mind. But I didn't read that in the at the beginning where. Oh yeah, I confused.
Relative pronouns who, which, that, whose, and where.
Yes, where was the correct, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it says, for
I
example, I don't know.
which is in South Africa because I'm explaining the place, right? Durban is a place. So which is in South Africa.
Or where is in South Africa or just which, right? It's
I
correct.
often
Yes.
visit my aunt in Durban, which is in South Africa, because we're talking about specifically this place. Where is this place? In South Africa. So, which is in South Africa? And here, it's a place
Where
where
many
many
beautiful.
beautiful flowers grow. Correct. Sandringham is the royal family spending Christmas. Is the family where? No?
Mm,
Is where the royal family spend their Christmas. Yes, because you had where. Mm-hmm.
also where I think.
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. So basically, your mistakes were on these words. No, where? Only where.
Yes, I didn't. I just was focusing myself in the list that we review,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't read the this paper which says relative pronouns who, which, that, whose, and where.
Yes.
I was
Where
wondering.
sometimes it's also used in the relative pronouns. I don't know if we had
Okay.
example here with where, but yes, it is. It is. And basically all of the WH, no,
Mhm.
is
Teacher, no,
WH.
I was wondering, I wanted to talk about the class that I couldn't assist. I
Mm-hmm.
was wondering if it's possible to maybe reprogramar this class for the next because I talked with un, una de las administradoras del curso
Mm-hmm.
de inglés.
Lourdes.
Yes, I think that was
Mm-hmm.
she, and she told me that because I am changing from the group class to one-on-one class, I only have eight classes, she told me.
Yes, only
So
8 classes.
since we have three, four, no, three, four, five, I was wondering if I can have my other classes maybe the next week, just the next week, just as we are having the classes now, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So I don't know if that is possible. I would like to have that option
Okay, so you want to extend?
just for that class, teacher, just that class. O sea, lo que quiero decir, teacher, es que esa clase la quisiera pasar, por ejemplo, esta semana, digamos, solo estas dos y la próxima, las tres normales. O sea, creo que serían, hasta ahora creo que pasamos, ¿cuántas clases? Tres, cuatro, cinco hasta ahora,
Cinco.
¿verdad?
Exactamente.
Entonces,
Tres,
seis,
faltarían 3 clases más.
esas tres clases me gustaría pasarlas la próxima semana, que sería lunes, martes y jueves, digamos, y con eso ya creo que serían las 8 clases.
Ok, perfecto. Y también tengo igual te quería comentar lo siguiente, como Valeria ya terminó su clase y Valeria, ups, ya se nos acaba el tiempo. Valeria pasaba de 8:20 a 9:20 el martes. Te cuento que igual podríamos pasar mañana seguido si quieres, ¿no? No hay problema, el martes.
Yo creo que prefiero así, como le decía, el lunes, martes y jueves, porque mañana no creo que pueda, teacher.
Ok, perfecto. Entonces, el martes está bien si nosotros tenías clase 7:30, ¿verdad? Y podemos
7:20,
pasar
sí.
de 8 a 9.
El martes,
Ujú. Ese puede
ya,
ser
teacher.
el horario fijo, porque creo que querías
Pero,
pasar
o sea, el lunes sería de 7:20 a 8:20,
8 y
solo el
20,
martes de 8 a
solo el
9, ¿verdad?
martes de 8 a 9, sí, solo el
Ya,
martes.
está bien, teacher. It's okay.
Ujú. Sí, solo el martes, de 8 a 9, ¿no? En vez de 7:20, 8:20, 8 a 9. ¿O prefieres mantener nomás el horario? Si prefieres mantener, no hay problema igual.
Ah, yeah, that would be better, teacher, for me.
Ok, 7, podemos hacerlo mejor 7:30, 8:30, pero igual 7:20, 8:20 está bien. Lo
Yeah,
mantenemos entonces.
it's okay, teacher. I think it's okay. It's better.
All right, bien. Y el jueves de 7 a 8, ¿verdad?
Yes, no problem with that time class.
Ok, perfecto. Entonces, directamente la próxima semana, 3 clases más, ¿no?
Okay, teacher, it's okay.
Perfecto, voy a comunicarme entonces con Lourdes para informarle eso, ¿de acuerdo?
Okay, teacher.
Muy bien, ahora sí. Por favor, si podrías completar la encuesta. Lluvia, thank you very much.
Okay. Bye,
Thank
teacher.
you. Goodbye, Lluvia. Have a great day. Y no te olvides, las tareas ya están asignadas de la unidad número 3.
Okay,
¿Ok?
teacher. And you were telling me that I have to do the tests of the units, and I didn't. I couldn't because there was no.
The quizzes.
Yes.
They were assigned, but I will check again, okay? Maybe the due
Okay.
date already ended.
Maybe.
So I will see.
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
All
Bye, bye.
right. You're welcome. Goodbye.